Hey guys, I'm Duke. Welcome to Bike and Rider. This is a YouTube channel where I interview enthusiastic, passionate riders just like yourself. And I've got one right back here. He's invited me to his garage. He's got a couple sport bikes. He's just going to talk about one today. So welcome to the channel. Thanks for joining us. Let's go talk to this guy about his motorcycle. Tell us your name and what kind of motorcycle you got.
Name's Lewis Dunn. This is a 2022 Aprilia RSV4 factory in ultra dark.
How long have you had the bike?
So I bought it new in late 2022.
Okay, how many miles have you put on it so far?
I've got about 9,000 miles on it.
You do a lot of riding? I mean, that seems kind of medium, but you got two bikes here, so.
Not enough. That's it's never enough.
Right? I know what you mean. What made you choose this bike? Like, why'd you pick this one over all your choices?
Well, I've actually, to be honest, I've had Ducatis, I've had MV Agustas, and I've had Bomotas, and I've never owned an Aprilia. So I thought this was the next progression in Italian bikes. And I love the Italian bikes and the V4. Never had a V4, so I thought might as well get an Aprilia.
Yeah, I can't tell you how much good stuff I've heard about those bikes.
Yeah, it's been great bikes.
They're really popular among the sport riders. Mm-hmm. So what's the draw to the Italian bikes?
I just like the engineering quality. They generally are, I can't say quality because Japanese bikes are ultimate and very high quality.
Yeah.
But the difference in design ethos, I think, is more art and the engineering, the design of it. They bring that as part of it, just not just the perfection of engineering, but they're always bringing a sort of an art aspect to it.
I see that. Now that you say that is fitting.
And they're always upfitted with premium components, from steel brake lines to, fully adjustable suspension. A lot of the things that you would have to do to upgrade a Japanese bike, comparable, you end up spending the same amount of money. So I think, it may sound a little weird, but I think they're actually a pretty decent value, that you don't have to change as many things as far as performance upgrades.
Yeah, they build a lot of value into their bikes.
Yep.
You bought this bike brand new, so it wasn't modded when you got it. Did the showroom, did the dealer do anything to it?
Nope, bone stock.
What have you done to it?
So I've done I did a slip-on, cat delete and slip-on, SC project, slip-on. I coupled that with a Gabbro Racing tune, and it's called the M-Torque tune, and it releases all the restrictions on first, second, and third gear. From the factory, they restrict the torque output on the lower gears, so it's fully unlocked for full power. Did the DNA air filter.
Okay.
So that's, as far as performance, that's what I did, because, factory, it's 217 horsepower stock, so it's plenty. I did a tail tidy from New Rage Cycles, and it's pretty tight up in there. I've been cited for that one once before. No.
Oh,
twice.
Really?
Twice. I've gotten 2 tickets for it.
Oh, that's funny.
Once in Deals Gap area, and once on the what do you call it, Natchez Trace.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, I was
okay.
I was allegedly speeding, so he had to give me a ticket for something.
Right, allegedly.
I couldn't get Lewis to tell me what his plate means. If you can guess, put it in the comments.
I did replace some of the plastic bits with carbon fiber, like the hugger.
I see.
And then this piece right here, I did
So that's legit carbon fiber?
Yeah.
Instead of plastic there?
Yep, all real carbon fiber.
Cool.
I had to do the rear spring in order to get my sag right. It was too weak from the factory, so I replaced that spring. I also did the front forks, put new springs in those to get the weight right. I did the grip pads, which seemed to help quite a bit. I did new levers, mostly for in case I crash. I like the short ones, not necessarily for looks, but it gave me adjustability, and in the event of a crash, less likely to break off.
Yeah.
And the clutch one folds as well. And they're Evotech, I believe, but they're fully adjustable. I do have a radar detector on it.
I
So
noticed. Well,
That's works great.
I saw the one on your
Yeah,
Duke.
I'll switch it back and forth.
Okay.
And so it has a built-in LED light under here that's really bright. And then it plugs into the audio jack. And so when it goes off, it's a really bright LED light
Cool.
that lights up.
Let's back up to your exhaust.
Yeah.
I didn't want to get too far before I get to ask the question. Could you feel a significant difference with the exhaust and the tuning?
Definitely, yes. With the M-Torque tune,
Yeah.
absolutely. Huge difference. And, in first, second, third gear, it'll just, without wheelie control, it'll just want to carry the front wheel. Even with wheelie control, huge difference. And I did the longer one. Some people get the shorty ones, but the shorty ones actually reduce power. You actually lose power with some of the short ones.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's you can go and look at the dyno maps and everything, but at least on these Aprilias, they do.
So do you know what kind of power you're pushing now and over the
Probably
217?
maybe an extra 5-6 horsepower, maybe.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is it's cleaned up fueling,
Oh.
which is great.
Yeah.
Super smooth.
Smoothness.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, and all the torque coming out of in the lower gears, you get all the torque immediately. Let's see. I did a taller windscreen. It's slightly smoked. I really don't care about that, but it was definitely needed to be taller because at high speeds, the factory one was just too low.
Yeah.
It was too much buffeting. Once you hypothetically get above 150 or so,
Right, 'cause
it was a lot of
I mean, we don't do those kinds of things.
right. So, and that's about it. It's been trouble free. I did actually do made a homemade titanium heat shield for the rear shock.
Okay.
To kind of keep heat off of the rear shock reservoir to keep it from getting too hot.
Clever. Why I did the cat delete on my 790 was because the catalytic converter sat right there under the shock, and they were known for having rear shocks go out. A lot of people speculated it was all the heat getting to the shock. So that's really clever thinking.
I've actually had that happen twice on my KTM.
Funny. That's so funny.
So, yeah.
The tank pads.
Yep.
That was brought up to me recently, and what made you opt for putting that on?
Just because when you're getting off the bike, it just gives you more grip on the inside of your leg.
What is there a certain brand that you use there?
This is Tech Spec
Okay.
is the brand. A lot of people use Stomp Grip,
Oh yeah.
but Stomp Grip, I mean, they're good too, but they're not very clean looking.
Oh, okay.
So this Tech Spec was a pretty grippy brand. It's pretty grippy. It's not just for looks.
Right on.
And it's pretty clean looking. So, and then I did PPF the front of the bike as well. So it's got full paint protection all over the front. And did these knockoff Rizomas.
I saw those on a bike recently. What do you think about them?
I mean, they work fine. I mean, I've had them on there since almost new, and I've never had any trouble out of them.
Do they function as a mirror?
Yes, somewhat.
So like
Somewhat.
you can see out of them?
Hey, I'm used to. I've had Ducatis and MVs,
Oh, right.
and their mirrors were pretty much useless. So
Okay.
I'm used to it.
I got you.
But the factory mirrors were they just looked so out of place on this bike that it just was not something that.
So you did buy this bike new. Got to propose the question for anybody out there. If you had only 3 mods off the showroom floor, what would they be?
So probably definitely the exhaust and tune. Is that 1 or 2?
That's 2.
Well, definitely the exhaust and tune, and this bike really doesn't. And the suspension, getting the suspension right.
Okay.
That's going to be the best thing to do.
Seems wise.
All performance related. I'm not big on making mods I've done a few cosmetic things like the mirrors and some of the carbon fiber, but I generally have my ethos is if it doesn't have any functionality, then it's not something I really want to do. It's got to either make it lighter or faster or handle better or something. It has to contribute something to the performance
Gotcha.
for the most part.
What's your favorite like experience you've had with that bike?
You know, probably like going to Deals Gap or East Tennessee for about a week is generally what I like to do. I think last year I went maybe 3 times for extended periods and just go there and hang out and ride during the day, meet people, you know, and I would go by myself. And, well, I take that back. One time I took my girlfriend. She didn't like it too much. I was out riding, she was sitting at the cabin.
Yeah, I didn't see a back seat on that. I'm
Yeah.
like, she wasn't
So-
riding with you.
No, she got eaten up by bugs. But yeah, just going somewhere with no agenda and having plenty of time is kind of my favorite thing. I've done long trips in the past on like long day trips, but then you're just burning miles just to get somewhere. So I'll generally trailer out there because these tires don't last very long,
Yeah.
and then spend, you know, 4 days, at least 4 days minimum out there,
Okay.
and just post up somewhere and hang out and ride.
What makes that, is it the getting away part and just relaxing and riding part?
Yeah, just kind of disconnecting from work and stuff. So
Yeah, it is a beautiful place. I made a few day trips myself.
yeah. And I try to go during the week when it's less crazy.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
What are you most proud of about this bike? What makes you want to show this bike?
I like it because it's a little understated, if you will. It's not super flashy. You know, I like the black and gold. It actually kind of reminds me of the old Smokey and the Bandit Trans Am, the black and gold color. So, and that's another thing I do like about some of the Italian bikes. Aprilia does have some different color schemes, but Italian bikes seem to they don't have to rely on colors and fancy schemes to look good. The design comes through. And this is very simple, understated. It's kind of, if you know, you know.
So we talked on your mods, things that you have changed about the bike. Is there anything else you want to do to the bike?
Yes, actually, now that you asked, I tried to register for it, but I didn't get it in time. I was going to try to do the Texas Mile.
Yeah.
There is one in the fall that I may try to do. So I was thinking about making some mods to get it ready for that. So, and that would include some airbox mods, velocity stacks. You can't do too much to stay in a certain class,
Yeah.
but that's probably next on the list of serious things to do with it.
What about swing arm mod
You can't change any of that if you want to go in the
class?
yeah.
Okay.
Stay in that class. So, you know, maybe, you know, gearing, of course. But it should, you know, the record holder right now, or the last time they ran the record was a RSV4. So,
Really?
yeah.
Well, good luck with that.
Yeah. So that's on the short list. I'll try to do it in the fall. They have one in the spring and one in the fall.
Okay.
Yeah. How fast have I gone? 70. 70. Got a trip planned in May to Deals Gap. She doesn't know, but I'm still going. I've already paid for it. So, have I taken it to the track? I used to do track days back in the day with my MV and Ducatis, and I got out of it for about 15 years when I had my twins.
Okay.
And so I haven't been back since I started riding again when I got this.
Okay.
I had a Triumph right before I got this, and it just wasn't. I thought I was going to slow down, and I got it, and I was wringing its neck too much, so, and it couldn't keep up. So, yeah, plans for the track possibly. I was thinking about getting the KTM 990 RCR is on my short list, and using either that as a track bike or the Duke as a track bike.
Okay.
So
you're very content with that bike, huh?
yeah, for now.
It satisfies.
Yeah.
And you are no slouch on that bike. You definitely put it to the ground.
I don't know where you heard that, but
If you're in Tennessee or any of the surrounding states, head down to the description you'll find a link there to a Google form that you can fill out and get a hold of me, and we can get your bike here on Bike and Rider. So thanks everybody for watching. Live free, ride hard, and I'll see y'all on the next one.
So it's toothless. Oh. So you ever watch that movie, How to Train Your Dragon?
As soon as you said it, I was like, of course.
Yeah.